Analysing a text takes discipline and military precision.
Now your point really is just where you introduce what you're going to be talking about. And when you're talking about points, I like to get people to think about recycling. You take the question and you turn it into a statement. So, how does Shakespeare show the downfall of his hero in Macbeth? You'd say Shakespeare shows Macbeth's downfall by using techniques such as. The most important thing you have to do then is move on and find a quotation, an example. You keep that example really short. Keep that quote focused. The analysis, talking about the language that the writer actually uses. You're going to start to talk about what the quote shows about the character or the writer's point of view or how a reader would react to what is written. And I always say, remember this and that. This shows that, you could write, this tells us that, this shows that, this tells us that, this makes the reader feel that. So you've started to analyse your quotation. You've moved up to the first step. Now you want to get to the high C and break into the B. For that, you have to be ruthless, fearless when picking apart your quotation. You're going to analyse again, but this time you're going to pick a word from the quote you've talked about and explore it in more detail. What do I mean by that? Looking at words. Well, when you read a sentence, you'll notice that some words just shout out at you. They just have a bit more impact. They have a bit of a punch. So, for example, in the sentence, a light of understanding broke on Lenny's face. "They ought to run us out of weed," he exploded triumphantly. Now, the word triumphantly doesn't need to be there. That word packs a punch. It makes you think. Sometimes a writer uses a series of words or a kind of technique to make you think. He didn't literally explode, but he's saying he's so excited, he exploded with excitement. It's a metaphor. He's saying he was so happy, he couldn't contain his excitement. It's like a kind of special move. Hadouken! John Steinbeck is using devices to make the reader feel Lenny's happiness. You want to use sentences like the writer has used to show that, or the word suggests that, or the writer has chosen to because, and you go on and explain in more detail. You are ready to start interpreting. This is where you connect what you've just said about in your quotation, and you're connecting that idea to the bigger feelings and ideas in the book. So you're going to use sentences like, the writer is trying to suggest that. This links to the idea of, because the writer deliberately wanted to make his reader think about the idea of, and you've got to ask yourself, what are the main themes in the book? So if you're studying something like Romeo and Juliet, it's not just a story about a bloke who meets a girl and then they die. Sorry if I ruined the ending. It's about the idea of love. John Steinbeck's Mice and Men is about loneliness. It's about how people are basically alone and can't connect to other human beings. Kind of depressing. The A is simple, my friends. Just like to get to the B, you did an analysis but went into more detail by talking about a particular word. To get to the A, you give another interpretation. You use a phrase like, another way of looking at this could be, or this tells us a lot about the time the text was written. Be fearless again. That's really what makes the difference. Some people might write the C and think, yeah, I'm happy. I've written a short analysis. But you're really kind of brave people will go, no, I can say more about that quotation, and they will. And the marker will reward them for that bravery. Be brave. Climb the stairs. And in the same way, you've done your interpretation. But for the A, you have that fearless, restless spirit. You say, no, 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 no. There's more I can say about that idea. It could be this. For an A star, the A star, you're going to try and link your interpretation to the time the book was written. At any rate, you're going to go back, you're going to come up with another idea. And that shows that you have not just one idea, but also an original, alternative idea too. That you really, really understand this text.
At ease, soldier.